Wolf. As we are... That was a very quick remake. Straight into it. But what is the first
pick?
First
pick or first ban?
No, first pick.
First pick?
What are we aiming for here as Gen.G?
Well, I mean, there's a lot that will be decided by these bans, right? But I think something like Yone, if left open, Chovy is happy to play it. Like, a lot of people are thinking about Zeka on the Yone here, but I think Chovy's happy to play it. I think the Orianna is also a big consideration. A lot of Engage is gone. Ox pointed this out earlier. The Bard is a big champ that has a lot of value here, but even the Nautilus suddenly shoots up in priority, as he is very safe as well. The Yone gets banned instantly, so Chovy not going to be playing this one, but the Nico was 100% going to be banned. I think the Varus and the Pantheon will also be taken away. Makes sense to ban Maokai away from Peanut.
Yep.
It's just been really the only jungler who's pulling this out with great success.
I mean, he still has like about a 79% win rate on the champion all
insane.
time. It's kind of ludicrous.
Okay, they banned the Talia here. So now I think as Gen.G, you don't ban Varus, and you just look for that first pick Varus, see what that final ban will be in eventuality.
Orianna, Annie.
Orianna makes sense.
The mid lane picks that we are looking out for.
I don't think you first pick the Annies. There's a Trundle ban. The Jarvan was another pick that was mentioned on the space, but I don't think it's necessarily one you want to first pick here. So Pantheon will be first pick since they choose the Varus ban.
Well, it is a pick your poison moment, and then banning away either of them is actually kind of crazy to me, right? Like, maybe just ban Teemo in that position.
Yeah,
so that you can get one of the others, but Panth is up, and Panth will be locked in. Canyon, this is going to be the third time that he's allowed to play this champion.
I think it's probably going to be a Jarvan here for Peanut, but maybe he has another pick in mind.
Nocturne Orianna?
Nocturne Orianna could be a combo. It's not a common one for this team in particular. It's more of a T1 flavored draft, but they could go for it.
Don't you mean DNF flavored draft?
Well, also that. Just going to take Galio, which works well with Pantheon, so it kind of makes sense to deny that.
Yeah, kind of interesting to pick a blind Galio, though, as he doesn't necessarily have only good matchups.
It does kind of weaken the Annie pick that Chovy might have been considering here, too.
Yep, that's a very good point.
This Jarvan weakens a Sivir as well, so... You know, I'd love to see Ruler play Zeri. You know, maybe that's the angle we're headed for in this game, as the AD carry pool obviously thinned out substantially.
Yep.
See what they do want to go for, because Annie feels pretty obvious here, even if they have the Jarvan, even if they do have the Galio. You know, you could go for the Orianna still, because Orianna Pantheon is also quite strong. I'm curious to see what Chovy thinks is the best option here. I don't think the Galio will be flexed in this draft to top lane. Just going to slam the Lucian Braum.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking that maybe this would be the angle, as Lucian is another one of these champions that, if to go back to what Wadid was saying on the space, has priority on that bottom side of the map, and then can also get out of the Cataclysm. So it's kind of doing double duty.
It's also really strong because they only get to respond to one of these picks in the draft. You haven't shown either solo laner, so you just get to drop the Sivir down. Jarvan already on your side, but you don't pick Jarvan just because it's good into Sivir, but do have a lot of wave clear with the Galio Global. Yep, whenever you have a Global and a Sivir, feels really good, but they also have the Pantheon, so something else that will have to be kept in mind here is now when you have both solo laners available on blue side here, it's really hard to ban, especially against a team like Gen.G because they're just so incredibly flexible. Cassante is an interesting one. I think Keen is incredible at this pick.
With the Trundle banned away, and of course both of our junglers locked in, does make picking a tank feel a little bit nicer. So not going to be seeing that one towards the top side of the map. I think some top lane bans could come through here from Gen.G, unless they do want to focus on support, and there is that Bard that is going to be taken away.
Curious to see what the top lane pick is going to be here for Hanwha Life Esports, because you want something that can side lane really hard, but you can't blind it. Yeah, you may just have to. The Annie ban makes a lot of sense. They could try to Camille with this Galio.
Oh my god, yeah. Camille, Galio,
I think maybe they should just ban that Gen.G here. Like, that seems pretty obvious, right? Yeah,
I like it. That's a fantastic heads-up ban.
Okay, that was very smart. And that one could have been a disaster for Gen.G's comp. And now, you know, what do you want to go here? Blind, you know, you're really running into one of the best top laners in the world here. Karma going to come out into this bottom matchup first, and they'll save the counter pick.
All right, so Siva Karma, this is a bit of a tale as old as time. And Karma into Braum, not too bad.
Yeah, no, this is fine.
If she is ever caught on her own, though, she can just die pretty quickly. So you do have to be a little bit careful.
All right, Keen, what's it going to be? Chovy will not be able to play the Annie here, but
Orianna is probably a pretty comfy lock-in for the mid lane.
I'm trying to think of like what else. I mean, you could just go Victor for extra damage. Like you could go Victor Ornn.
Yeah, true.
And just go, all right, well, Lucian is not going to be the greatest late game carry, but if we have a lot of tempo, the Victor just becomes big. Sion will be a consideration here. And then what sort of mid lane damage are we looking at?
Sion Cho'Gath. So you deny the
No, I'm not even kidding. Is it Smolder? Like Smolder actually, like Smolder or Aurelion Soul are the ones that are coming to mind here for Chovy.
Let's just scale.
I think you need
his
damage
Smolder
now.
is very, very scary.
And he will pick it in these scenarios every time. And he doesn't care that there's no AP damage on his team. It just doesn't matter.
You also flap out of the way of Cataclysms pretty nicely, as that's a Ziggs.
That's very different than the Smolder. I was like, man, the Galio's just not going to get any value with his AP, or his MR rather, into this comp if he picks the Smolder. But Ziggs is going to be very strong here in this draft, can do a lot of work, and also really help clear the waves of this Sivir.
Yep. We'll see whether it is going to be like a cheeky mid lane Lucian scenario.
I don't think so, but it could be.
Because Lucian does rip holes in Galio. It was a decent matchup there of old.
For anyone,
the Aatrox is the choice.
For anyone that isn't Chovy, I'd be like, absolutely not. But Chovy has been known to play Draven mid. So he certainly could have. But when you have Braum Ziggs,
I know,
it doesn't feel really good. So I think it is still just...
And the Lucian Braum is like such good synergy as well, so it does make some sense.
I thought about it for a moment as well, but it just isn't going to come to pass in this one. The Aatrox is a really cool answer to the Sion in the top lane. Like, this has been the most common response when it's left available. You normally don't get to counterpick this. It is Zeus' Aatrox, which is pretty crazy, and he has a Jarvan. This draft for Gen.G has a frontline in the Sion, but it's really easy to just circumvent the Sion with the rest of the comp to get past the Sion and still get access. Ziggs has a satchel. That'll be helpful. Lucian's got a dash. That'll be helpful, but if you don't have those tools and you get jumped on, this comp does fall apart pretty quickly. It is very fragile. And I think the Sivir is really going to be an incredible problem that needs to be solved. When we get to late game, if you haven't solved it by then, is really what I'm getting at. It's going to be a big issue for your Sion. I kind of like Hanwha draft better. Like, I would have liked the Smolder a lot more than the Ziggs. Because I feel like it's just free scaling, and the Ziggs is a little bit more situational.
Would you say that you have perhaps forgotten that Pantheon exists?
Yeah, I may have kind of glossed over that a little bit in my post-draft analysis. But we'll see.
I know it does help keep it interesting if we just pretend the Pantheon exists, but he does. And let's see whether it's once again going to be checkmate.
소환사의 학교가 오신 것을 환영합니다.
I do think that this HLE draft is extraordinarily synergistic. If we get to like the late game, right, they'll be running actual circles around Gen.G with the amount of extra movement speed they'll have. Repositioning going to be fantastic as Ruler just going to take a bit of his own medicine here. But we'll just be able to go back.
I'm going to enjoy that. I'm looking it up right now because I'm pretty sure Pantheon's last game was actually a loss. Pyosik played it and won, and then I think one other player played it and lost with it.
That may have actually happened.
I think it was Sponge who lost. If my
there were some
I did is correct.
There was certainly some Pantheon experiments that were happening this week, and some of them were good, some of them weren't. Pyosik actually looked fantastic on it.
Pyosik just looks good in general, man. Even his Hecarim game.
Oh, the Hecarim was heckin' good. It was that was a real good one.
All right, Toby, first strike into this Galio is going to be free money.
Yep. Also, already disappointing Orcs because he's chosen the wrong skin. This one just not fake. Just kind of looks like he's just
Chovy,
sort of base, you know.
If it's Chovy, is Ox just wrong though in this case?
No.
I defer to Chovy. Sorry, Ox.
He is the UK GOAT, as we know. We did learn that. Although Keysun is kind of my UK go.
He has been known to bleat about Ziggs from time to time. As I'm sure he will.
When goats aren't making weird human-sounding noises, they are bleating.
Yeah. You know, we don't often do big post-game analysis for Game 3s of series like this. We focus more on the winning team and some of their accolades and, you know, the post-game and POM and stuff like that. But I feel like Ox will have something to say about the Ziggs game one way or the other.
Yep.
It's great that we have him on the space for this one today.
And it's the first time we've had mid-lane Ziggs in, like, quite a long time.
Yeah,
we don't have an APA, you know, here in the LCK, so we don't really have the same sort of thing.
It's been teched into a few drafts worldwide, but it is not really a thing in the LCK. We kind of stick to our Rise, Xinjiao, R1, R2, Game 2 kind of tier list picks a lot of the time. That's why, you know, even though I was like, I don't know if Orianna really makes sense here, we're kind of like, is he just going to pick Orianna?
Yep.
But the Ziggs makes a lot more sense, can generate a lot of gold with that first strike. Because Galio doesn't strike first, as it turns out, when he's playing into a Ziggs ever. He is actually going to have a bit of help from Peanut, though, potentially here.
Yeah, I'm looking for a little bit of an angle as Chovy's standing on the satchel. And he's pretty happy about it. It was Bulldog, yeah. Bulldog was kind of our Ziggs guy here in the LCK. Certainly loved it in Challenger as well. But it was over a year that we saw him play it. As Dura stands beside Ruler. Look at this synergy, by the way, in this bottom lane.
Yeah,
looking
very
glorious.
Cool. Also, no chicken on the concussive blows. Very exciting for me.
Yeah, you really didn't like that yesterday.
Come on, it's a kebab. You don't have a chicken leg. That doesn't make any sense to me.
That's true. It needs to be on the stick thingy.
What if it was like a kebab being made instead?
Yeah, maybe it's prior to the chicken being ready.
Yeah.
That's why it's when it's stacking up. And then when it's ready, maybe it's a kebab.
There you go.
That would have been good.
Maybe I'm just misunderstanding the concussive blows part of that skip.
We need to have a chat to whoever designed it and really understand the philosophy. I think that's going to be really
Maybe
important.
it needs a visual update.
Like a relatively brand new skin needs a visual update. I would agree.
Yeah. Really, the people who bought it just for the chicken leg concussive blows and don't really care about the kebab part would be very upset.
Yeah, there's just like an absolute uproar. It's like, I just wanted the chicken, man.
Random LCK commentator ruined my purchase.
Well, I mean, honestly, like, you do expect to get a certain thing when you buy a skin.
Yeah.
So when you do get skin remakes, like, I was very upset when my Junkyard Trundle lost his one pink Converse shoe.
Yeah, that's so terrible.
Yeah, I've spoken about it many times, and so that's what could happen if someone removes the chicken leg.
Yeah. That one ward that was put down by Canyon, it makes Delight and Viper a little bit more careful about how they're pushing this lane, but they still have vision in the river, and they are not really going to care too much. It was just like a moment where like, oh, okay, we're fine.
Yep.
They're just going to constantly have push into this solution Braum lane. It's a really good choice here to grab the Karma. Strong matchup in the 2v2. The Karma's value for the rest of the comp is also pretty good. Like being able to speed up a Galio who's trying to look for a taunt, for example, is actually pretty massive. But, you know, not a whole lot of engage if your Jarvan is in trouble or isn't able to find the mark. So that's the questions that we do have for what this Karma will do later on. It's doing what it's supposed to in lane very well as Zeus takes a turret shot.
Oh dear, Aurora the Slayer is going to connect there as well, and the world has ended, but has it ended for Zeus, or will it end for one of the others? And the answer is Zeus gets out, does have to use the flash.
Yeah, that was pretty good for Zeus, actually. He still has his TP. Had level 6 before Keen. If Keen has level 6, that looks very different because he can just chase him down.
Yep. It does mean that there is no pressure on Keen anymore. Because, of course, no ulti, no flash.
Yeah, that's a pretty big win. But at the end of the day, just hoping for a little bit more there. Peanut will, in return, get the dragon. So does feel like a pretty large W for the overall game state here for Hanwha Life Esports that he gets out. Yep. And it's at the same time as this lane swap, so he could just TP to match Keen in the bottom lane. And we reset here. As Ruler and Dora were like, oh no, that Karma
Yeah, why are they still here?
Remember when Karma was played top?
Oh, yeah. Remember when Janna was played top?
I don't like to think. Dun Dun thinks of it fondly.
Do you remember when 80 LeBlanc was played top?
Dun Dun remembers it fondly. Remember when 07 Jax won challenges? Dun Dun remembers it fondly.
Why is it just Dun Dun that's just there in my brain for everything that I remember about top lane?
I want to say he went to Turkey recently. I think that's where he is.
He is certainly having a good time somewhere.
Yeah, he might be in LTS South. I want to say he's in Turkey now. Chronicler's got a hidden tracker.
Yeah, Chronicler definitely knows. He said it to me recently where he went, and I just don't remember enough.
Surely he'll let us know in chat soon.
Please, Cronny.
Well, no Smite Jan atop. He's not doing that wherever he is.
Yeah.
But he remembers it fondly.
SK Gaming, so he's over in the LEC.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Thank you, prompter person.
Yeah, whoever is prompting us, we care about you. All right, Zeus going to get knocked off once again. If at first you don't succeed, guys, you try, and you try again. As Canyon grabs himself the kill, Keen was just uninterested. A Scion does not need kills.
No, Scion doesn't need to hit his ult either. He just gets really mad and becomes
Hey, he hit the damage.
Yeah!
You know, there's that.
Who needs CC when you have a Pantheon who can just point and click?
Yep, true.
All right, well, that's going to be a plate for Keen at least.
Yeah, this is a very, very happy Scion. Just Pacific rimming there in the bottom side of the map. Having a very good time.
So look at the distance between Zeus and Pantheon. Look at it now. Pantheon's pretty good. You mean he could do that and then he just presses his stun button? That's wild.
And he just didn't even need to use the stun for so long as well. Yeah, it's a little bit of a checkmate scenario. And so Zeus will be able to catch this wave, but like you said, the plate does go down already. A 10 CS advantage for a Scion is kind of not how I was envisaging this lane to be at this stage. So
well,
good attention there by Canyon.
Exactly. I mean, it's on Canyon to save it, and he has done way more than that, as it will be Peanut picking up these grubs again. Does feel pretty good for an Aatrox, so less good for a Galio, but still high value on this one. It's not the biggest top laner side lane grubs, but the Ziggs, obviously, it would get tons of value out of it, so it's a very significant deny here by Hanwha Esports.
Yep. You can see that Rule is down like 9 CS as these lanes are going to stop. Of course, I think Viper will get back to lane a little bit faster if this is going to be reset time for Ruler as well. So not exactly end of the world right now for the bottom lane of Gen.G, but that was where the biggest issues were for them.
Yeah, and it was obviously the Karma Sivir that started things off, but in the Legend group, sometimes you just have the bottom 2v2 decide the game in like the first 7 minutes or so, and you're like, wow, I guess that's it. This game is pretty exciting because of the 3 so far, it's been the closest start.
Yeah.
And both of these drafts, you know, scale really well into late game team fights, and there's a really strong front line here for this Zig solution, but it's a Sivir comp. They've got Jarvan engaged. It's going to be a fun one. Like, I'm pretty hyped. Keen, probably a little bit less hyped about what he's about to see. Might have to flash.
Yeah, his Unstoppable Onslaught just came off cooldown, but of course wasn't going to be very good into a Cataclysm. So the Scion is not super happy about the J4 existing.
I don't know if they really want to try this again. They're going to think better of it. Peanut, definitely not.
It's some pretty cool items that Keen has as well, so I think they're happy with the flash.
I think so. Zeus is just trying his best to lane into Ruler and Duro. You know, we all remember lane swaps. Zeus is remembering it not so fondly, as Dundon remembers his top lane moments right now, but yeah, he's just going to absorb the pressure here. It's kind of plates traded.
This is so much better for Gen.G.
Yeah, I feel like this is way better for them because the Lucian Braum gets to avoid the Karma Sivir and put pressure on the Aatrox, and the Scion is like, this is where I was born to live on the weak side.
Yeah. This is my job. Thank you for allowing me to do my job. Yeah. And this wave clear for the Ziggs, now that he does have Luden's done, is kind of scary.
Yeah, I mean, he's already starting to put pressure on these turret plates, and with his passive, he just rips them apart. Zeus will get a demolish proc here, though, so
that's a bit back.
We're kind of trading plates, and it's a little bit of a slow early game, and you and I are like basically got the abacus out, like, oh, this plate went over here, and like Ziggs puts pressure over there. But that's the kind of game I've been kind of looking forward to, because the first 2 games were very explosive. There wasn't a lot of breathing room. There wasn't a lot of time to get to tense dragon setups. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, Han will have the setup, and they're going to run over Ruler. Or in the first game, like, Ruler's quirky is just untouchable. Now, it's a game.
It is.
For now. We'll see. Because
I'm just a bit embarrassed because you've admitted that we both use abacuses still.
Yeah.
And a lot of people would just use their phone.
I know. Well, yesterday I was talking about TI calculators, and now I've really been outed.
Oh, man. The games that you were listing were not the same as the ones that I played.
Oh yeah, what'd you play?
I can't tell you,
Okay.
because I just can't talk about it. As that is going to be Canyon locking down the smite this time around, as nice spell shield there from Viper is going to make Keen's life considerably worse. But still, that is going to be the Drake secured by Gen.G. One apiece, I believe, between the two squads, and denying the objective feats of strength.
Ocean Soul, pretty good actually for both teams. I think better for Gen.G, but only slightly. It's not the best Drake you could have had, of course, but still, it's going to be one of those Ocean Souls where you don't just roll your eyes. I think it's still going to be some value. Keen has been the target for so long.
Yeah, it doesn't have flash, so this Cataclysm just doing a whole lot of work. Gets stunned up, or snared at least, by the Karma, and so that means that Keen is just going to be turned into a zombie. Nothing he can really do about that. It will equalize the gold entirely between these two squads with that pickup.
Canyon had ultimate and was bottom side and didn't decide to impact the play, and now I certainly think he can't. You see, Chovy is also nearby with his ultimate. He's just going to catch this wave.
Yep.
And that was smart. Also, Keen did get the cannon in Zombie Scion, so small victories. Trying to kill Zeus without Pantheon is just not going to happen, though. And Canyon was bottom side, but he was like, ooh, I just don't like trying to save this play. Keen was definitely dead. Doesn't commit there. Even though they had Chovy, like if you look at the map right now, Chovy is pretty far away. Like I don't think that you can make the decision to just Pantheon ult here and then Ziggs ult. It's just not going to be quick enough. Which is sad, because I think Keen, with this comp, if they were like a little bit more heads up on this, if they knew the pathing of that Jarvan, they may have tried to turn that one around, but I don't think it was possible in this scenario.
Yep, not wanting to give up tempo elsewhere on the map. I think Keen made the call, like, I'm dead. Yeah, don't worry about it. Just trying to get what you can elsewhere on the map. And as you can see, Gen.G actually pulling it back to a 500 gold lead immediately afterwards, as it was kind of equalized in that moment, but the resulting play does mean that Gen.G are able to regain some control.
I'm curious how much first strike gold Chovy has already this game. I mean, he has a 15 CS lead, but he has 1,000 gold the advantage without really getting too much done. Like, he doesn't have any kills. He got 2 plates. And you see that first strike just keeps ticking in. Feels so good in a matchup like that where you can just constantly harass the Galio with really no fear of anything.
Yeah. Here on this bottom side of the map, I think Zeus not super happy about the Sunfire Cape and the Bramble Vest that Keen has built up, which is certainly helping Keen. Still, I mean, Zeus' Aatrox does deal with tanks relatively well. That's why he was picked. It's Peanut going to turn up, finds Duro as the Winter's Bite is going to miss. Taunt to come through. Interruption there from Duro, but it's not going to interrupt his death. That is going to be secured, and just one more necessary for HLE to lock down the feats of warfare.
They're going to try to maybe set up a cross map. I just don't think it's a good idea. Zeus has ult flash, and there's no wave. So, in fact, Zeus is like, I'm going to read this. Comes over here and is like, there's pings as well. They're like, nope, I don't think so, Canyon. There is no cross map for you. You can't even get a blue buff. Really good read from Hanwha Life. And it's a bit of a puzzling moment there on the top side for Gen.G. Like, when I was watching, I was like, is there a reason? And there just wasn't any fault there, and Duro was just way out of position, got caught.
Well, Chovy, let's see how the Satchel's going to do. Interrupts. As Flag and Drag going to be illegal. Mega Inferno Bomb, massive damage. There's the knockup from Keen, and Canyon brings down the stars to take out the jungler. Peanut thinking better of that one. Man, Chovy Ziggs looking pretty slick.
It's a pretty good sign that he can stop those Flag and Drags on demand like that. Like, he's just so ready for it, for what these team fights are going to look like later on, because he is the primary target. Zeus is going to get a whole turret as well after the Scion showed there in mid. He just pushes that one down. Doesn't even have, like, he doesn't need a TP or anything right now. He's sitting pretty. Then he will also get the Herald. So they're
This game is so close.
Yeah, they are winning a lot right now, but Zeus gets a lot back as well, is really what I'm getting at. And see if he... No, there's no ult for Keen, so he's not actually going to commit to a all-in, but would have won, I think, in a longer trade. This is the power of this comp here for Gen.G. It's like, oh, I'm ganking Chovy, but then Canyon is here, has ult. The ultimate here for the Scion is practically a global. You can just see how quickly, if you don't get the kill immediately as Hanwha Life, you just get... Like, it's like the swarm of bees coming out of the nest, man. They're just gonna catch you. You're gonna get stung.
This is it's impressive use of how this this composition works from Gen.G. But the answer was there, right? Like, Zeus got the free time towards the bottom side of the map, was able to take down that first turret. Decent influx of gold there. As I feel like every time we go into a replay, we come back and Gen.G has made an extra 600 gold compared to their opposition. Like, it's not very, it doesn't feel fair. I'm sure it is, if we were to have a look at things, but it's just kind of strange. As Viper spell shield going to be utilized. Duro not really finding the angles, and it's hard, right? Because it needs to be a Duro POG because his game 1 was so good.
Yeah, it's
but the Braum, it's not inspiring.
it's really not it's not saving it for him just yet.
No. It's also not really a champion that ever really does. It just Brahms, you know?
No.
It's a fine pick. It's just not fancy.
Yeah, I always ask the question, like, can you name the most iconic Braum player of all time? And people are always like,
Ejim.
Yeah, well, you always
100%,
say that.
it's Ejim. He hated Braum more than any other person I ever knew that played professional League of Legends.
It's funny to think that, like, almost every other support you can think of someone instantly, but Braum, it takes a little time. This Herald is going to get dropped here for Gen.G, which is big because Dragon is being taken. It's hard for them to actually stop this, though, because the Herald alone isn't necessarily going to be enough.
Peanut is taking a very long time to do this, and Canyon is now moving in as best he can. Viper will be able to deal with this Rift Herald as Zeus is moving in as well. Gen.G bring themselves over as Delight is taking the Scion for a walk. Zeka gets behind this Dragon as Canyon dives in on top of Peanut. He's deciding not to pull the trigger, but the Mega Inferno Bomb is just eaten by Zeka. Zeus now off to the side. There's the spell shield from Viper doing all of the work as Canyon puts up the door. There goes the Drake as Peanut is lying on the floor. Ruler is now free to dash around this fight wherever he wants, and Canyon just gets on top of Zeus. He's forced underneath this just barely alive outer turret, and Gen.G, they'll pick up the feats of strength and also deny that second dragon for HLE and win the fight.
Yeah, and they should be able to grab this turret right away as well. Ruler will take this one out, so more money. Chovy going to get the satchel explode on this bottom turret, so double turrets off of this, and suddenly it's a swing of 3,000 gold into their favor. Now watch this teleport here from Chovy. Zeka instantly taunts, and so Chovy has to flash it, gets away. Chovy's out of the fight here, does very little initially in this, and that's when it looks like maybe Hanwha can do this, because this Sivir is starting to do big work. Duro's engage is really kind of worthless, but then this angle from Peanut is pretty weak, and Chovy starts to do damage. Viper gets pushed away, and there's just not a lot of damage here for the comp of Hanwha Life, and Viper can't get it done alone, and they just got picked apart. Cool idea there with the taunt to grab Chovy, but since he just flashes it, now you have a Galio in an awkward spot. And, Gen.G just outplayed them there.
There's a joke about bugs that I could have made there that I decided not to. I think I'm growing as a person.
Yeah.
So not gonna. It was a good one though. The joke in my head. So just give me credit.
I think I can see where you're going with it.
Yeah, there was a recent video.
Yeah.
Really going into it, and the player in question is in the game, so it's topical. Feels good.
Now everyone knows what you mean.
Yeah. Horizon Focus is done here for Chovy, and so this Ziggs, who was already extraordinarily far ahead, 35 CS and change, 2,000 gold, the lead. And look at this, the couple of outer ring turrets have been taken down already. Top lane going to be the next on the menu if Chovy does want to head over there.
I was scared for Ruler for a second because
it
Peanut
was Ruler
saw
position.
that and he was like, I don't know. I think he actually just dies if he walks up on the Viper like that one more time. Peanut does not quite have the gap close. He had Flash. You know, I was kind of worried for Ruler. Ruler also has Flash, and he is Lucian, but they don't get him.
Yep.
Was scary. When I see Ruler there, when you see Ruler there, we get nervous.
Oh, Otacon has just been started. That's why Peanut is booking it over to this side of the map. But look at the vision. There is just nothing that HLE can see. They've just used their Scryer, but look at this. Keen is a brick wall, just standing in front, denying entry here for HLE as Ruler and Canyon are looking to finish this one off. There's the Mega Inferno Bomb as Viper eats it with a spell shield, but Peanut not so lucky. Zeus getting on over, but he doesn't have Smite, so he's not going to be stopping this from going down. The interruption! No justice for you, Zeka, as Ruler will get his fangs in and finds the Gargoyle. Now Viper needing to get himself out with a cleanse, and honestly, Viper has played it about as well as he can, but unfortunately everyone around him has just fallen.
Yeah, just two massive teamfight wins back-to-back for Gen.G around Dragon. You know, the first one on the actual Dragon, the second here on Otacon, and this map is just completely blown open now. 3,000 gold becomes 5,000. Hanwha Life just struggling to defend against this Zig siege of the turret.
Keen is having a very fun time just pressing Q over and over again, hoping Delight walks up, as he's just barely out of vision. That was very cute. Yeah, this is looking rough for HLE.
Yeah, everybody partied in the bottom lane. They're not able to get the turret. Hanwha Life had to come down and deal with that, but this setup is lackluster at best here for Hanwha Life. The Peanut rotated over a little bit late, gets caught by this Q, and they just instantly blow him up. Spell Shield is good from Viper, but you lost your jungler, and Zeus is just denied entry into the fight. Like, there's so much vision that if he tried to walk through that tri-brush, he would have just gotten collapsed on as well.
Keen interrupted a flag and drag and then a Justice Punch.
Yeah, he just isn't going to let you do anything. And like, Zeus just wasn't involved in that whole exchange. Peanut wasn't either because he was the first one to get caught and taken out. And it's just that simple for Gen.G. They had so much pride on that Otacon. It was not a risk to them at all to take it.
Oh man,
Ruler?
Maybe? Okay, Ruler.
Maybe this time.
Yeah, the Flag and Drag is going to be able to pick him up. Let's see whether he can get out of this Cataclysm as the Mega Inferno Bomb comes down. Viper in so much trouble. Ruler, he flashes and gets the 1-for-1. Kill goes over to Light as well to add insult to injury as immediately down goes the Karma. Duro going to be able to slow up Peanut here, and Gen.G, I think they're just starting to run away with it as Peanut might, never mind, no Flag and Drag for you. It's a bouncy bomb instead, and he didn't like it.
Did Ruler just get palm? Did he just say no justice for support?
No,
Is that what just happened?
No. It's Keen Palm.
The Keen palm is kind of a cute angle. I'm gonna like entertain it for a minute.
I reckon we should entertain it.
Yeah,
it seems entertaining to me because I don't think it's not Duro anymore.
No, it's
that's
not.
That's the rough part.
Watch Lucian, or Ruler rather, playing Lucian in this first person. By the way, does not flash this Cataclysm. By the way, only flashes at the very end to secure the kill.
Yeah, that's the right way to use flash. Only to kill people. And look at Keen, comes in, takes down Delight.
Duro, hold on, sets up potentially. Boom.
Look at Keen, stands in brush channels Q.
Yeah, but I don't know, Duro set that up. Maybe he is palm.
He did. He also pressed Q.
Yeah.
Oh,
he also pressed the right clicks on him as well.
He did. It's really difficult to know. Petals looking pretty Gen.G favorable, and that will continue that way because they are the ones that picked up the Otacon, and Chovy has Magi's. Yep, yeah. that's a descriptor on the state of the game right there. They also have Soul Point from that last fight, 4.5 minutes on the next Drake, and
often
Shadow Flame as well. Oh my God!
Often in comps like this.
Oh no, he didn't actually. He sold back the Magi's.
Oh well, he's realized that if he has a Magi's, it's unlikely to get fully stacked. But if he keeps the Dark Seal, it's full stacks.
Hey, that's true.
He's a kind of.
But every like assist and kill he gets from now on it feels wasted. You know,
he's
already capped out.
But you know, in these comps for Hanwha Life, you want to try to collapse and punish. Chovy is the target.
Cataclysm immediately flashed out there by Chovy. He wants nothing to do with it. Keen. Will he die? Well, the answer is yes. It'll just take a really long time. Zeus not going to get caught up by those concussive blows. And Keen is just going to be sacrificed. Well, I think tanking extraordinarily effectively there, as we saw, made sure that they didn't get any extra kills.
When you don't have the Baron buff and you're pushing up like that, like Hanwha Life's comp is incredibly strong at punishing. Like Ruler was able to trade a kill back there, but he was caught. I think Gen.G need to be a little bit more careful about how they push up into this Hanwha Life Esports comp because it's incredibly like Duro.
Yep.
Hello.
Going to get knocked up. Ruler is going to be able to come on over, but the Infernal Chains are going to be there. Still, I mean, Winter War, not enough.
One more pick like this, and suddenly Hanwha Life can 100% get Baron. I mean, Keen does have TP, and he's up in 10 seconds, so I don't think they can do it this time, but you really got to be careful, Gen.G. You have a massive lead, but all it takes is just one little Jarvan flag, and suddenly Hanwha Life Esports could get right back in the game.
Oh, Canyon and Chovy feeling like they have an angle here, as Peanut is going to get spotted. So not too much.
I think Gen.G are... Like, it was a bit of a scary reality check, but they're still very much in the driver's seat here. Is these types of plays are the only way back into the game for Hanwha Life. Chovy has Satchel, he has Flash, he gets out, they turn on to Keen. It's a bit of a greedy setup here for Gen.G. There's just no one really to peel, and Canyon can't go in alone here anymore. So he's just going to watch Keen die and then back away. Duro nearly dying was also a little bit of a flub, but he gets away. Does lose his Flash, but he's got unsealed, so he'll get some value elsewhere.
Yep, and there's still bounties up, right? Like, it's still a really rough position for HLE, but we did see how it could potentially turn around.
And I don't think it will turn around, honestly, Atlas, but, like, let's keep our eyes on Ruler.
Yeah.
Still, he's got his Flash back up soon.
I'm ready to become a believer. I am ready.
Yeah, if that LDR comes through, you know, you kill that Scion. By Viper carries, we've seen it. Viper Life Esports has that moniker for a reason. It's just going to take a lot of heavy lifting here on the engaged champs.
Yep, and it's not exactly a game-winning soul or anything like that. The Ocean is good, obviously, especially if you can draw out the fights, but it's not going to be end of the world, as Chovy throwing bouncing bombs all over the place. Even the couple of Ocean Drakes he has going to be pretty helpful there.
I think for Hanwha Life, you kind of have to just let them do Dragon and hope you can maybe try to start Baron and look for a turn.
Hold on for 5.5 minutes or something and just take an Elder.
Because, like, fighting into Gen.G here is not possible, but making Gen.G come to you and fighting on a turn, that's viable. Even, you know, 5,000 gold down if they get the right target. Delight!
Oh dear. He's going to have to flash immediately. Zayas is on a flank angle as they do just destroy the Karma. Peanut next on the menu. He is going to be able to drag his way out as a redemption to keep him up as Ruler going aggressive. One more time between turrets and he's feeling good about it. Zayas trying to get himself into the backline. A big taunt from Zeko, but Ruler is still just fine. Just pursues his way out. And Viper gets flashed on, stabbed in the back by Canyon. And this game may not even make it to a soul. Gen.G might just put them in the ground right here.
No Baron required. Man, I hate to say it for Duro, but I think Ruler is going to get most people's votes again.
My vote that I don't have is for Keen, though.
This is one cannon minion actually gets turret aggro.
Oh, survives that? Look at the guy. Calculated. Using his whole health bar. Mega Inferno Bomb. Boom goes the Dynamite, and down goes Delight. HLE, they do get a game in the series, but unfortunately, they do not manage to take down Gen.G today. Looking pretty angry in that third game, to be honest.
I was hoping maybe to answer the question that it doesn't like it happen if you can satchel both Nexus turrets at the same time.